So I want to break the cycle with my own children of them feeling like success is just about achieving, and actually make them feel deeply loved, seen, heard, understood, because I think that's the most important thing. We are their role models, and they see how hard I work. What I'm more concerned about is them not placing their self-worth on what they achieve or don't achieve. Well, I think if my body's not recovering, then I think, am I doing too much? It may not even be the training. It might be that I'm just diary's too busy with stuff. I think, yeah, I'm just, instead of just pushing through, I'm listening to my body a lot more than I used to. That's kind of key, really.
Okay, so this is just a personal point, right? But just seeing as you mentioned that, it's not in our plan at all. But that phrase, listening to my body, like that's a thing which I've heard lots of people say all the time, and I think it means different things to different people. I guess I'd say I'm learning how to do it as well in my own training, but I don't know. Just because you said it, I've been thinking about it personally quite a bit over the last few days. What does that actually mean for you to listen to your body? Give us an example of how you might do that, and then we'll go back to the question.
Yeah, if my sleep is not as good as I know it should be, I mean, things like resting heart rate. I think actually having this sort of smart watches these days give us an insight into, because like if it's coming up to a race, and then your body starts to feel weird anyway. So I know that you can kind of maybe see things that aren't even there at some points, but I think, yeah, it's measures of like whether an easy run, I feel tired, and or it's much slower than it would normally be, or just that I'm aching when after a gym session, which I wouldn't normally. I think sleep, and sleep can also be that you've got things on your mind, but normally I sleep really well. So yeah, I think the performance data is quite important.
That's really interesting, I think, especially because we're all juggling more than just our running. I mean, and obviously you're super competitive and high level at running, and we're less so, and there'll be others somewhere in between. And running, mean that kind of commitment that we have to running one way or the other is different for everyone. But we also have, you've got 3 children, so do I, Gary's got 2, and they have demand. Family life has demands, other work is having demands. So again, how do you know whether it's your body or it's just the demands of life, or is it both? And how do you go about navigating that?
Well, on a Sunday night, I plan my week, and I have to visually see it. So I write out my diary for the week, and I think even that can help, because you can think, am I just back to back with things? Have I got enough time to actually take some time out? And I think planning too much, actually, I need to have time where I'm just got an afternoon of not doing that much, or at least a couple of hours. So I think that's quite big for me. Also, like being on the phone too much, and again, the phone tells you if your viewing time's increased, doesn't it? So that to me is like, it's not just tiredness scrolling. It's usually, and you can become overactivated. So I mean, I switch my phone off at 8 or 9 every night, because I think by that time you just need to wind down to have a good night's sleep. But even not being on it too much during the day, I think is the approach. All of I started doing it because I wanted the kids to. None of us have our phones in the bedrooms at night, and so yeah, I think little things like that you can start to, and then I suppose my maybe coping mechanisms, which we've all got, start to kick in, and you notice them and you think, oh, okay, well, what's going on? Actually, you need to ask yourself that question.
Yeah, I'm hearing a really, really lovely blend of like the data and the information that you can get, and the kind of sense of intuition and listening to your body and the other things that are going on. But what's sort of underneath a lot of this is your capacity to remain aware of what's going on with you, and to see that as an important thing, and to pay attention to that and be conscious of all of these things, because otherwise you could very easily just ignore all of this great stuff at your disposal and all these signals you're getting from your body. But it seems like you've really cultivated an ability to be appropriately aware of it without being obsessed on it about it. Just use it to guide you.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned you've got 3 children. I was curious coming into this to know how you've had children for a little while. I think one of them's in their teens. So you're clearly someone who changes and places emphasis on sort of self-transformation and change. How have you noticed you parent differently from how you used to over the last couple of years?
Well, I think once I became aware of the cycle, and, like I spoke about my mum, and my mum's got lack of fulfillment, maybe not feeling good enough, issues going on, which is why she's really put it onto her kids to achieve to, she wanted us all to go to university, because my parents didn't go to university, and move away from Newcastle, where I'm from. And, my sister's a very good tennis player. Tennis was her thing. So I want to break the cycle with my own children, of them feeling like success is just about achieving, and actually make them feel deeply loved, seen, heard, understood. Spend time with each one individually, because I think that's the most important thing. We are their role models, and they see how hard I work. I don't need to worry about them working hard. My husband works really hard too. They're going to do that naturally. But what I'm more concerned about is them not placing their self-worth on what they achieve or don't achieve. And actually that success is about happiness and fulfillment. And that doesn't necessarily mean financially earning a certain amount or winning. It's okay to not win. And my daughter's started running, and she's an under 13. She's actually 11, and she's head will go down when she doesn't come in the top 3, or she doesn't win, and I just really got to, I hate that comparison. It's about you did really well, you got a PB, you ran really fast, and actually I say to her, you've done so well this season, you can't always get PBs, it's just about you trying your best. That's enough. That's always enough. If you try really hard, you try the best on that day, the given circumstances, that is always enough. And I want my kids to feel like they are enough for who they are, without anything else. I think maybe I think we talk to our kids in a different way. I'm not going to be unfair on my parents. I think it's just a generational thing. We are so much more aware of all of that, and how to talk to our kids, and what they need to hear. And I think we're used to suppressing our emotions, and actually I want my kids to feel the whole spectrum of emotions, and that there's no right or wrong, and it's okay for a girl to be angry and a girl to be competitive, because that's like the stereotypes of it not really being a female attribute. My daughter's not going to have that so much, because she's got 2 brothers, whereas I had 2 sisters and went to an all-girls school. So yeah, when she's angry, it's like and she fights like a boy. It's like that's okay.